At 95 years old, Clint Eastwood, Hollywood's most unshakable icon, sat in quiet reflection. For decades, he had been the face of grit, of raw masculinity, of men who never flinched. A career spanning nearly 70 years had forged his myth, the steely-eyed gunslinger, the hard-nosed cop, the tough-as-nails director. And yet, at nearly a century of life, he whispered 9 words that cracked that myth apart: "She was the only one who could do that to me." Who was he talking about? Not one of his many co-stars, not his longtime collaborators, not even his wives. No, the woman who broke through Clint Eastwood's iron armor was Sandra Locke, an actress and his companion for more than a decade. Their story was passion, betrayal, artistry, and heartbreak all woven together into a Hollywood saga like no other. And in that one haunting confession, Clint Eastwood revealed something the world had never truly seen: his greatest weakness. Section 1. The making of a legend. Clint Eastwood Jr. was born in 1930, in the middle of the Great Depression. Life was not glamorous. His family moved constantly across California, chasing work, scraping by. It was in those early years that he learned resilience, humility, and a work ethic so unshakable that it would carry him through Hollywood and beyond. By the late 1950s, Eastwood landed his breakthrough role as Rowdy Yates in the hit TV western Rawhide. But television was just the beginning. His leap into international stardom came in the mid-1960s when he teamed up with Italian director Sergio Leone. A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly made him a global star. These films transformed the Western genre. Gone were the clean-cut cowboys of the past. In their place stood Eastwood's Man with No Name, a mysterious anti-hero whose silence carried more weight than words, and whose morality was painted in shades of gray. Audiences around the world were captivated. Clint Eastwood wasn't just acting, he was reinventing American masculinity, but while his professional image projected control and strength, his personal life was far more complicated. Section 2. The Double Life, Career and Love Affairs. By the 1970s, Clint Eastwood had become more than an actor, he was a cultural phenomenon. Dirty Harry cemented his image as the no-nonsense lawman who would do what the system couldn't. Audiences loved him for it. He was unstoppable. Off-screen, though, Eastwood's life looked very different. He wasn't just famous for his films. He was famous for his charm, his charisma, and his seemingly endless stream of romantic entanglements. Reporters called him a modern-day Casanova. Women fell for him everywhere: actresses, models, journalists, even stunt women, but beneath the charm, there was something else, an emotional distance. Eastwood, even in romance, was always in control. He kept his private life veiled in secrecy, often hiding affairs and keeping children out of the public eye. He could move on from one relationship to the next with the same calm stoicism he brought to the screen, until 1975. Until Sandra Locke. Section 3. Enter Sandra Locke. Sandra Locke wasn't like the others. She was sharp, ambitious, and fearless. When she met Clint Eastwood on the set of The Outlaw Josie Wales, something shifted. For the first time, Clint wasn't just the star of the film, he had found a woman who could meet him as an equal. Their relationship spanned more than 13 years, and it was unlike anything Eastwood had experienced before. On screen, they were electric, appearing together in The Gauntlet, Bronco Billy, and Sudden Impact. Off-screen, their bond was passionate but turbulent. Sandra Locke wasn't content to be another name in Clint's long list of lovers. She demanded more. She challenged him. She forced him to see parts of himself he'd rather keep hidden, and that terrified him. Section 4. Passion and pain. Their partnership was intoxicating, but it was also filled with betrayal. During their time together, Clint was allegedly involved with other women and secretly fathered children. Sandra Locke, who had invested not just her heart but her career in him, eventually discovered the truth. When their relationship fell apart in 1989, it wasn't just a breakup, it was a war. Locke accused Eastwood of deceit, of professional sabotage, of robbing her of opportunities. Lawsuits followed, and the once inseparable pair became bitter adversaries in the public eye. For Clint Eastwood, the man who had always seemed untouchable, this was different. This wasn't a critic's review he could brush aside. This was personal. And it broke something in him. Section 5. The hidden wounds. Clint Eastwood would later admit in private, "She broke something in me. And I never figured out how to fix it." This was not the Eastwood the world knew. The man who could stare down gangsters, outdraw cowboys, and silence criminals with one glare was confessing to something he couldn't control. Sandra Locke had done what no Hollywood villain ever could. She disarmed him, even as he continued directing Oscar-winning films. Unforgiven, Mystic River, $1 Million Baby, American Sniper. There was a scar he carried beneath the surface. Fame, fortune, awards, even fatherhood couldn't erase the memory of her. He had survived Hollywood, politics, and the brutality of fame. But love had left a mark that even time couldn't heal. Section 6, Life Beyond Locke. After Locke, Eastwood's life remained complicated. He married again, fathered more children, and continued to live as one of the most fascinating figures in American culture. His second marriage to Dina Ruiz brought stability for a time, but it too ended in divorce. His children grew, some stepping into Hollywood, others choosing quieter lives. Clint himself kept reinventing his career, proving critics wrong with every project. Even into his 90s, he was directing films like Cry Macho, but no matter how much he achieved, Sandra Locke's shadow lingered. Friends and confidants noticed it. The way he spoke of her was different. She wasn't just part of his past, she was a wound that never healed. Section 7, The Man at 95. And now, at 95, Clint Eastwood has nothing left to prove. He has awards, legacies, films that will outlive generations. He is, by all accounts, a legend, but when he whispered, "She was the only one who could do that to me," he wasn't talking about his movies or his battles in Hollywood. He was talking about love. About heartbreak. About the one woman who, in all his 95 years, had managed to shake him at his core. Sandra Locke wasn't just another name in his story, she was the story he never forgot. Conclusion: Clint Eastwood's life is a tapestry of triumphs, from the grit of the man with no name to the pain of Unforgiven, from his decades of reinvention to his countless awards. But beneath the legend, beneath the myth of Hollywood's toughest man, lies a truth he could never shake, that even the strongest men can be broken, that love, not war, not fame, not time, was his most dangerous opponent. And maybe, in the end, the most shocking revelation of Clint Eastwood's 95 years is this: the man who built a career on control, silence, and unbreakable will, was undone by a single woman's presence. She was the only one who could do that to me. And with that, the toughest man in Hollywood confessed that his greatest story wasn't written on screen, it was written in his heart.